Today we're visiting Kaiapoi. It's a town of around 15,000 people. It's about a half an hour north of Christchurch. We come here most weeks because Alison loves swimming at the local pool. Unlike most of the city pools, it is rarely crowded, making it a great place for a relaxed swim. On the William Street Bridge, looking across the Kaiapoi River, it's hard to imagine the challenges this town has faced over the years. From here, the river winds its way about 5 kilometres before reaching the sea. Our first stop today is the Waimakariri District Council building. Alongside the council offices, it houses the local library, a small art gallery, community meeting spaces, and a fascinating little museum that tells the story of Kaiapoi's past. When Alison was growing up, Kaiapoi was best known for two major employers, the woollen mill and the freezing works. The woollen mill, once one of the town's largest employers, closed in 1979, and the freezing works followed in the 1980s. Like many New Zealand towns, Kaiapoi had to reinvent itself after the loss of these industries. Then, in September 2010, disaster struck. 5 months before the devastating Christchurch earthquake, Kaiapoi was hit by a major earthquake of its own. The damage was severe, with around 1,000 houses eventually classified as red zone and had to be abandoned. One of the exhibits that caught my attention is a photograph of the Mandeville Footbridge after the earthquake, a reminder of just how much damage the town endured and how far it's come since then. Leaving the council building, I head south towards the railway line and one of Kaiapoi's most unusual landmarks. At first glance, it looks like a collection of old letterboxes painted in the traditional Canterbury colours of red and black, but this sculpture carries a much deeper meaning. The installation serves as a memorial to the homes lost following the earthquakes. More than 1,000 properties in Kaiapoi were eventually abandoned, leaving behind not just empty sections, but memories, neighbourhoods and communities that could never be fully replaced. The sculpture itself has been relocated several times since it was first created, but its message remains the same, a reminder of the resilience of the people of Kaiapoi and the enormous challenges they faced in rebuilding their town. What I particularly like is that the letterboxes have found a new purpose. Birds seem to have adopted them as their own, using them as perches and even building nests inside some of them. It's a small sign that nature has moved in and that life continues even after difficult times. Beside the railway line, I found this mural. It's the only mural I've found so far in Kaiapoi. It depicts a woman holding a dove in one hand and a sailing ship in the other. I can only speculate the meaning of all this. More artwork, a giant eel. My next stop is one of my favourite buildings in Kaiapoi. This handsome former Bank of New Zealand building has found a new life. Today it serves several purposes, including a post office, but it's the bookshop that really caught my attention. The moment you walk through the door, you're surrounded by books. There are shelves everywhere. A welcoming atmosphere that encourages you to slow down and stay a while. A fireplace adds to the charm. The store also carries a selection of stationery and gift items, but for me, the books are the main attraction. The displays are beautifully presented and it's easy to spend far longer here than you intended. And if you don't want to leave, you can stay the night. Upstairs, the building offers boutique accommodation, allowing visitors to experience a piece of Kaiapoi's history while enjoying all the comforts of modern hospitality. It's a wonderful example of how a historic building can be preserved and adapted for a new generation.
She always stop on Sunday morning. Be sick for that's a while.
From the old bank building, I continue west along the river for about 100 metres until I reach the Mandeville Footbridge. Today it looks perfectly normal, carrying pedestrians, cyclists and scooter riders from one side of the river to the other. But this bridge has quite a story to tell. During the September 2010 earthquake, the bridge was badly damaged and became one of the most recognisable images of the disaster. The twisting and distortion caused by the quake highlighted the extent of the ground movement that occurred throughout Kaiapoi. Standing here today, it's hard to imagine the damage that once existed. The bridge has been repaired and once again serving the community, linking neighbourhoods and providing an easy crossing over the river. Although it does take me across to empty sections, a result of the earthquake. As I make my way across, there's a gentle rise and fall to the bridge, offering views up and down the river. It's a pleasant walk, but it's also a reminder of Kaiapoi's resilience. What was once a symbol of destruction has become a symbol of recovery. After crossing the Mandeville Footbridge, I head into what was once one of the areas hardest hit by the earthquake. Even today, there are reminders everywhere. Vacant sections appear where family homes once stood, and the landscape feels noticeably more open than you would expect a residential neighbourhood. One surprise is the old Anglican church, surrounded by so much change. It appears to have survived remarkably well and stands as a link to Kaiapoi's past. As I continue walking, I pass an empty section that has found a new purpose as a motor camp. Nearby is the expansive Norman Kirk Park, another area where the scale of the red zone becomes apparent. Eventually, I arrive at the Kaiapoi Food Forest. Despite it being the middle of winter, it's obvious that a great deal of work has gone into this place. Trees, shrubs, garden beds and paths have all been carefully planned and maintained. Everything looks well cared for, even at a time of the year when not much is actively growing. As I wander through the garden, I can't help reflecting on what was here before. Many of these open spaces were once occupied by houses and families going about their daily lives. The earthquake changed all that. Yet the food forest also tells another story. Rather than leaving the land unused, the community has created something positive, a place that brings people together, provides food and adds beauty to the neighbourhood. In many ways, it captures the story of Kaiapoi itself. Out of loss has come renewal. Directly across the road from the food forest are three charming old cottages. Given everything this area has been through, I was surprised to see them still standing. They have survived the earthquakes, providing a tangible link to an earlier Kaiapoi. They certainly add character to the neighbourhood and stand in striking contrast to the open spaces nearby. It's another reminder that the earthquakes didn't affect every property in the same way. Some homes disappeared altogether, while others, like these cottages, endured and remained part of Kaiapoi's story. Moored beside the river is the Kaiapoi River Queen. At first glance it looks like an old-fashioned paddle steamer, but don't be fooled. The paddle wheel is just for appearance. The boat is actually powered by hidden outboard motors. The River Queen arrived in Kaiapoi in 2019 after being refurbished, and today it takes visitors on scenic cruises along the river. I think it's a fitting addition to the town because Kaiapoi has a long history as a river port long before roads and railways became the main transport routes. Ships regularly travelled up this river, carrying cargo and connecting Kaiapoi with the rest of New Zealand. A perfect way to end the day exploring Kaiapoi is to visit Paris for the weekend, one of the town's most distinctive cafés. The cafe occupies the former Kaiapoi railway station, another building with an incredible story. It survived the earthquakes, was carefully relocated while the ground beside the river was stabilised, restored, and then moved back to its new home overlooking the Kaiapoi River. Just outside the cafe is a kinetic sculpture that immediately catches your eye. As it twists and shimmers in the wind, it's almost hypnotic. I could stand there watching it for ages. Inside the cafe has a delightful French atmosphere. Tea is served in elegant china, and the display cabinet is filled with an impressive range of generous home baking. And if you're a hot chocolate lover, I can thoroughly recommend it. With the riverside setting, fascinating history and welcoming atmosphere, it's a fitting place to reflect on everything Kaiapoi has been through. This is a town that has experienced hardship, adapted to enormous change, and emerged with a strong sense of community. If you're looking for an easy day trip from Christchurch, Kaiapoi is well worth a visit. It may be known for its past, but it's the way the town has rebuilt and reinvented itself that makes it such an interesting place.